Are we recorded? You are listening to the Dollop UK and England. Oh, I flipped it. You are listening to the Dollop England and the UK on the All Things Comedy Network. This is a 10-episode season, special season of the Dollop, and we're focusing on England and the United Kingdom because that bothers people that we say those two things.
You say those two things.
Yeah, it's fun.
So give it the intro. You're not doing a proper intro.
What do you mean?
Be like, hey, you're listening to the Dollop England UK every week. I, Dave Anthony.
Hey, you're listening to the Dollop. Stop laughing.
Well, it's going
England
horribly.
and UK. This is an English history podcast, and we do a little bit of UK also. Each week, I read a story from UK history to my friend.
Gareth Reynolds, who has no idea what this UK topic will be about.
And I'm Dave Anthony, and no, you don't, because you never know. That's the exciting thing about this podcast.
It's a thrill.
Is that you don't know what's happening.
There's no net.
There's no net.
There's no net.
You're just a guy flying through the air.
I'm
You're
just
not
a
reading.
man.
Don't read anything.
And called it, quote, his jam pad.
Jam pad?
I'm the fucking hippo guy!
Dave, okay.
My name's Gary.
My name's Gary.
Wait.
Is it for fun?
And this is not going to become the Tiggly podcast.
Okay.
This is like anarchy!
On a 5-part coefficient.
My room is playing!
Now hit him with the puppy. You both present sick arguments.
No sleep till hippo!
That's like the hippo.
Action part.
Hi, Gary.
No.
Nicely done, my friend.
You may now read.
Thank you, David. This Saturday at 10 p.m. we'll be at the main room at Flappers Comedy Club in Burbank, California, with a ton of great people, potentially you. We're finding out if you can. and that'll be at 10 p.m. And then on October 2nd, I'll be doing the show at the Venice Underground, which is at a place called the Underground in Venice at 10 p.m. as well. Or, sorry, 8 p.m. My bad. 8 p.m.
And we'll be in Madison, Wisconsin on October 18th and Milwaukee on October 20th. Then we are heading to Europa in November, starting in Stockholm on the 10th. Then we go to Oslo, Amsterdam, Glasgow, Manchester, London, Birmingham, Cardiff, Dublin. Then we have now added a second show in London on the 22nd.
I guess we should mention our guest for that one is Boris Johnson.
Is Boris Johnson, and it will be a completely different topic. Someone has to say every show is a different topic. We never repeat a topic. We can't because that's doesn't work for the podcast.
We really should just start. If the expectation is this low, we should just do it. Be like, all right, we're doing a classic.
That's right.
We should just go tour the Rube.
And we're
doing the Rube.
And then we're going to be in Copenhagen. I think Copenhagen and Glasgow are sold out.
Yeah, I believe that those are sold out. And then
one of the first London
show is sold out.
But please join us on our tour of the Europes.
Yep.
Anything else before we get into crazy?
Oh, we should mention the podcast. We have a new theme song.
We do.
Yeah.
What's our theme song?
Yeah. We're doing a dollop again for the UK. Doing a dollop again. Not America. Doing a dollop again. It's different now. Doing a dollop again for the Queen.
Okay.
And then
All right.
Yeah, get a little riff behind
Yeah,
it.
no, I get
Dollop UK. All right.
All right. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
I'm
okay.
in.
All right.
Yeah. September 1931. We don't have an exact date. Arthur Thompson was born in the Springburn district of Glasgow.
Okay.
So this is a Scottish.
Right. Understood.
Scotland. His parents were two devoutly working class parents, Protestants.
Okay.
As a young boy, Arthur was a troublemaker and would often get into fistfights with classmates.
Sure.
By the time he was 12, he started carrying razors around to use as weapons.
Well, that's mighty early. But
That's
again, got to take, I think the equation is time, how Scottish, and age. And I think actually if you do the Venn diagram of that, you'll see that it's a pinhole, but this is where this man lives.
Yeah, it does work.
Mum, I've lost my razors. Where have I put my razors for school? I cut you. I've got to find them to cut the other kids.
During his teenage years, World War II was on, and Glasgow, and the area specifically that he lived in was industrialized, so constantly being bombed by the Germans.
Sure.
It was during this time that Arthur began his criminal career.
I think some would argue he started it at 12.
So, okay,
Some
that's
might,
fair.
some
Or
might-
earlier,
or
when the
earlier
fist
even. Yes,
fights.
probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
He initially robbed local stores, and then he moved on to be a debt collector for loan sharks.
Interesting.
So he's moving up.
Yeah.
Next, he extorted bars or stores, protection money, right?
Yeah.
That old gag. He's making good money, but he got caught and sentenced to jail for 18 months.
Okay.
He hated prison so much that he vowed to avoid arrest at all costs.
This will be the last time that I'm bloody arrested.
Not going back.
Not again.
No way. So once released, Arthur made connections in London and began working for gangs there.
Sure. And continuing his vow to never go back to jail.
That's right. Well, he could have gotten a job,
Sure.
or just don't. I'm not.
Yeah, I
going
bet
back
you
to
if you
jail.
say that to your mother, she's just like, oh, well, that's good. I'm glad you've decided you're going to turn over a new leaf.
I won't fucking get caught.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm not getting a bloody regular job. I'm done with everything. I'm joining gangs, but I won't go down.
His London rep grew and grew, and the Cray twins,
Oh, hello.
who were the most powerful British gangsters of all time, wanted Arthur out of their city.
And let's also, the inventors of curbing, I believe. The architects of the curb stomp.
I mean, it's a beautiful
The
thing.
first people to say, but the curb.
Is it true?
Maybe I'm wrong, but I know they were
I
big
could see them
curbers.
doing it. A popular story amongst criminals was that Arthur heard the Crays wanted him gone. So he went to their London nightclub and casually asked to see them.
This is a very Scottish move.
He then pulled a sawed-off shotgun from his coat and pointed it at the Crays' heads and said, quote, "My name is Arthur Thompson of Glasgow. You'll no forget me."
Oh, it's great. That's great.
After that, he became friends with them and an enforcer for the Crays.
Interesting. So that tells you what you're dealing with.
Well,
I mean, it's twofold, right? You get a baddie, and you eliminate an enemy.
You do.
Yeah.
And it's like an interview or an audition, right?
Sure.
The way that's like a gangster.
But it's not
interview.
like a straight up audition. It's like
No.
it's like how Benicio del Toro auditions.
Well, they don't hold auditions. Auditions are more sporadic and random.
Yeah,
in
but
this
still,
world.
it's like one of those guys who just shows up at a bar in front of a director and is like, I can do this. And the guy's like, all right, yeah. It's like that 1 in a million.
So, in 1966, Arthur was almost killed when a bomb exploded in his MG sports car. His mother-in-law was in the passenger seat, and she was killed. Arthur suspected 2 men from the rival Welsh gang. And sometime after, he saw them in a van and forced it off the road and into a lamppost, and both men were killed.
Jesus.
Arthur was charged with murder, but no witnesses would come forward, and he was released.
Well, the vow continues.
I can't believe no one would come forward.
The vow continues.
3 years later, his wife, Rita, forced her way into the Welsh home and stabbed one of the bomber's wives in the chest. She went to jail for 3 years. So they're a good
Quite
couple.
a couple, yeah. Power couple.
You have things you like, stabbing.
Yes.
Like that's like how you bond.
Yeah, no, yeah. It's over like your third date where you're just
Yeah.
like, and what's your feeling on like stabbing and things like that?
I love it.
Well,
It's tremendous.
no, I'm pro stabbing myself.
What?
Yeah, it's hard to find a lass who's got the same.
No, I love it.
Oh, you got really nice tits.
Arthur became one of the most feared men in the country. If someone didn't pay their debts, he would literally crucify them, nailing
Christ.
them to the wall or the floor.
There's a picture. Oh my.
No, not of a crucifixion,
Oh, okay.
just of Arthur.
Oh, okay.
That comes up. There it
Good,
is.
it's nice and big. Nice and big. Is that in your wallet? Okay. Well, he looks pretty like normal though.
I don't know how to work.
Yeah, I wouldn't even fuck with it. It's a touchscreen, so you can zoom in like that. Oh.
Oh, you can? Oh, let's do this.
Oh, okay. Computer enhance? Yeah, he
mean-
looks a little like McCartney-ish.
He doesn't look like, back then gangsters didn't look like our gangsters now.
Right.
They dress nice and they look clean cut. And
Yeah. Well, especially if you make a vow to never go to jail again.
That's right. So he nailed people to the floor or walls, as I said, as you do when you're looking to get money.
Jesus.
He became known as the Godfather of Glasgow.
Okay.
and was the most sought-after debt collector in the United Kingdom.
Okay.
Scotland was known for its criminals, and more major players emerged throughout the 70s and 80s. Thomas McGraw was born on February 19th, 1952, in Lennoxtown outside of Glasgow. He was known as Tam.
I'm also Scottish.
And he committed petty crimes as a kid.
Okay.
Got into fights.
Sure. Razors, blah, 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 blah. Now he's 21.
He's in and out of reform schools or juvenile detention centers. He married his childhood sweetheart, Margaret Maggs McGraw, known as the Jeweler.
Sure. Jesus Christ.
Because of her love of gold and diamonds.
Oh, right. So rare at the time, too. A very unique quality for someone to have.
She operated the business side of Tam's criminal activities, laundering his money through a cab company, several pubs, and a private security firm. So
Okay.
she's the business
Right.
lady
She's
behind
savvy.
it. Police corruption was at an all-time high.
Sure. Police corruption's always been at an all-time
It seems
high.
like
Feels
it,
like it's never
yeah.
gotten lower.
It's not great. Tam took advantage and became a police informant for the Serious Crime Squad.
For the serious crime,
That's what
as
they named
opposed
it.
to the goofy one.
They named their.
Woo! I'd love to join the serious one.
No, so it was like their top. I don't know what we'd call our top investigative unit, but that's what they called it in Glasgow. Was the Serious Crime Squad.
Good work.
It's very serious.
No, it's not to be taken as a joke.
So
Don't smile.
in exchange for being an informant, he got leniency from the cops.
Sure.
He was the most wanted criminal in Scotland, but he became untouchable
Because of his tattletale.
Yeah. So also Scotland at this time was the murder capital of Europe.
Okay. Cool. I mean,
Got to be number one at something.
yeah, no, it's good. That's
Yeah.
good. That's good.
Police felt constant pressure to make arrests. So to help, Tam would implicate men in crimes that they didn't commit.
Which we've run into
Yeah, that's a thing.
recently.
That's a thing.
It seems that,
I think it was our last episode.
It's the first time I've felt anti-waterboarding in a long time.
Tam did not hide his relationship with the cops. They went to his bar, and he could be seen serving them drinks. And he earned the nickname the Licensee because he had a license to kill and police backing him to commit crimes.
Jesus.
Criminals were suspicious but could not prove Tam was a snitch.
Okay.
Early on, Tam had joined a small criminal organization called the Bar L Team.
Okay.
They specialized in armed robberies. Tam ratted out the leader, who was arrested.
So he's getting everything.
Yeah.
He's getting the ability to go rob places, and then as soon as they're done, he's turning in the people that he just did it with.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I don't know if he's doing that, but he's I don't know if he's ratting out his gang. In this case, he wanted to get rid of the leader of the gang, so he did. But
Right.
I don't think he rats out his own gang a lot.
It's still probably not a guy you want to be having open conversations with.
No, I wouldn't talk to him.
Yeah, okay.
So Thomas T.C. Campbell took over as the leader of the gang.
Okay.
Or team. TC was the son of a famous safecracker and leader of the Gaucho Razor Gang.
Okay, so cool.
Do you know what a gaucho is?
No.
It is a Venezuelan cowboy.
Oh, okay, I did know that.
So I'm not sure why they named it that, but
A gaucho razor?
Razor Gang, yeah. Okay. Yep.
If it had a mustache, I would say Groucho
Oh,
razor,
fuck
and
yeah,
they just
and a big
misunderstood.
hat.
Yeah. Hey, am I cutting myself or am I cutting you off? Excuse me, man.
He was known for surviving suicide missions against other gangs. The Sunday Herald described TC's childhood, quote, like everyone else, he carried a knife and used it. He was
Sorry, I'm going to actually need to... Sorry, what's his childhood story? Like everyone else, he carried a knife and used it.
It's Scotland. Like everyone
Right,
else,
everyone has a knife.
he carried a knife and used it. He was first stabbed when he was 15. He says offering to show me... Oh, so this is when he's being interviewed. He says offering to show me his guts, where his guts spilled out. Yeah, it's right here.
Would you like to have a look at where all the guts poured out to me? Look at that gut line. Look at the gut line.
After that, he was knifed regularly.
I try to do it once to twice a week as a training.
In a book, he co-wrote with Reg McKay, a former social worker. He remembers sitting in a pub when he was 17 and being attacked 3 times by someone wielding a hammer. Everyone who had seen it thought they had witnessed my murder, and I couldn't believe I hardly felt it.
What? Who gets hit with a hammer?
So there's something wrong with his head.
Yeah, it's like those people when they get tased, and it's like they don't work on me
I
for
don't,
some reason. It's like
I'm
oh,
actually
boy.
good.
Oh boy. Yeah, if you hit someone with a hammer 3 times and they're still there, you're like, oh, I'm gonna get beaten badly.
And they literally just turn around and go, what?
Yeah. What'd you see?
What you doing there,
What are
Larry?
you trying?
Glasgow criminals backed up TC stories and said they once saw TC single-handedly fight off 5 to 10 men on his own while he held his intestines in after being gutted with a knife.
So what? Have they not sewn them up? So it's just kind of like spilling out still?
It's just Scotland. I mean, it's just how it was in the 70s.
Yeah, no, yeah, of course. And actually, that's just called having haggis.
You would
Pardon me, I'm having haggis again. Pardon.
You would just see a guy walking down the street with his guts
Oh,
hanging out.
my guts, right? Bloody son of a bastard.
Oh, Tommy got stabbed.
No, it's not even that. It's not even that. I haven't been stabbed.
What's going on
Oh,
then?
got terrible indigestion. Had it all bloody hell. Look at that. I am just bloody spilling.
Fucking horrible.
Oh, for God's sake. Hand me that fork. Give me that. I'm going to poke myself. Give me the spoon. I'll spaghetti myself back in. Wind it up. Push it. There it is.
Let's go to the pub.
I'm ready to drink.
So during a Bar L team heist, Tam almost killed a cop. Now Tam's the
guy who can get
snitch.
away with.
Well, he was arrested, tried, and quickly acquitted, and other charges were dropped.
So did he kill a cop?
He almost did.
So he now is like, if you're a cop, you're like, this is not good.
Well,
There's a guy.
he got away with it.
Okay.
TC despised snitches and was suspicious of Tam. And Tam knew TC was suspicious and wouldn't hesitate to spread the word if he was a snitch. So Tam became determined to get rid of TC.
So wait, one superpower is the power of spreading rumor, and the other superpower is he's a snitch.
Yeah.
Okay.
Tam ordered the jailbreak of 3 men. Tam wanted the cops to charge TC as the mastermind of the breakout, and within days, TC was arrested.
Okay.
He was the perfect person to take the fall. The problem was there was absolutely no evidence, and TC had a solid alibi. So the trial was very quick, and TC was acquitted, and Tam was furious.
Okay.
The Barl team kept pulling heists, while Tam's attempts to remove TC from the group kept failing. TC was very skilled, and the others really liked working with him. Now, one day Tam was with the Barl team when he got a call from his serious crime squad contact.
So you mean there was just like the red phone lit up? Hold on a minute, boys. The red phone.
And it was a warning that cops from a different unit were on their way to arrest him.
To arrest Tam?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
real cops are coming.
yeah. So the rest of the Barl team take off.
Right.
Except TC, who stayed nearby and watched.
Okay.
And he watched 4 cop cars pull up and drag Tam out of his house.
Okay.
And within minutes, a unit from the serious crime squad arrived and surrounded Tam.
Okay.
One tried to remove Tam from the other cop car, but the other cops refused.
I mean, what loony song is playing during this silent film?
Then one of the cops from the serious crime squad and one of the other cops started fighting, throwing punch at each other in the street while Tam stood there watching.
Okay, so how long until the Keystones show up? So 2 cops are beating the shit out of each other while Tam's like, ugh.
Yeah, hope the guy I like wins.
The super squad wins.
The serious crime squad
Serious.
cop won the fight
Nice.
and put Tam into his car.
Right, now you're not under arrest. Get in the car still.
So the next day, Tam was escorted home with no charges against him.
Okay.
TC's suspicions were confirmed. Tam was a police informant. And Tam knew he absolutely had to get rid of TC once and for all.
This is like Goodfellas must.
It really is. In post-war Glasgow, housing schemes promised idyllic, affordable suburban housing to replace old tenement buildings.
Uh-huh.
So they're these cheap, and they're for low income, and they're built in inconvenient locations outside of cities.
They're built in
It's almost like tract housing, I would describe it.
Okay, right.
But they're built in shitty places that you can't really get to anything.
Okay.
They're poorly planned. They had no facilities or rooms for shops to be built, and it took a long bus ride to go to stores, but most buses didn't go through the
Well, that's a
the
problem.
housing schemes.
That's a problem.
So the free market moved in
Uh-huh.
in the form of ice cream vans.
Okay. Wow. So you've just got an area of the country that's just living on ice creams?
No.
Oh.
So an ice cream van would claim a corner or an area and sell ice cream as well as groceries and household items.
Okay, so wow, that's pretty great. Why aren't there more of those? I don't know. Those should just be driving around everywhere. Like, no, hold on, I gotta go. Here's the milk guy. Got any frozen pizzas back there, Teddy?
Oh, we got hooks and I got a step ladder.
I'll take one of those hooks. I'm gonna keep waiting for a pizza truck.
So it's a good way to make money, and corners became very valuable, right?
Corners specifically, okay.
Yeah, like your corner where you park your ice cream truck.
Sure, yeah.
And then the gangs took notice of this.
Oh, good. I'm sure.
So during the 70s and 80s, manufacturing declined, obviously, and poverty rates increased. Then drugs became widespread, particularly in the housing schemes. So this is a huge market for the Glasgow criminals. Gangs made deals with ice cream truck owners to sell their stuff,
Oh, Jesus.
right? Stolen goods, cigarettes, firearms, and heroin.
Wow.
The four.
Right.
Four
the
main,
big
four
four.
main goods.
Right. Well, it had a good run of being a good idea.
So they became big sellers. Money's rolling in. More and more criminals got ice cream trucks.
Sort of adorable, right? It's like when you put a leather jacket on a puppy.
Yeah. So one was a well-established hitman, was one of the first ice cream truck owners. He had several ice cream vans, and he made 500 pounds a week and earned the nickname the Iceman.
How great is it when people come up wanting ice cream to one of the front ones? Hey, you may want to skip this truck, actually.
Why is that?
We're not big proponents of ice cream right now, so.
I'm looking.
Yeah, I know the outside says ice cream for sale, but
Yeah.
that's not exactly what we've got to offer. So.
What have you got?
Well, look, go look for a bloody ice cream truck. You know, if that's what you want.
I
don't have ice cream.
it says ice cream on the
I've
side.
got heroin, guns, knives.
Yeah, all right. I'll take two.
You just wanted ice cream.
Well, now I want heroin.
Well, I'm not gonna bloody.
For the boy.
Oh, it's for your boy. All right, there you are. How you doing, child? You like heroin? That's
Yeah, I
nice.
do.
Yes, get in there.
Shoot it into me eyeballs.
Oh, Christ, he's ruined his veins already. It's after my own heart.
In the 80s, Tam, who was an associate of the Iceman, joined in on the action.
Sorry, I skipped over how great Iceman the name is. So take a moment.
It's fine. So Tam gets in on the action, and TC becomes a big player in the ice cream business. Locals began calling him the Emperor of Carntine.
The Emperor of Carntine?
Yeah, which I think is a city
Okay.
or an area.
Okay.
They would all hire drivers.
They called TC that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they'd all hire drivers to drive ice cream trucks. If a driver sold goods in another gang's territory, leaders orders what were known as frighteners to send a message.
Okie dokie. Ghosts?
No,
Oh.
that's a movie.
Oh.
These are worse. These are bad men.
Oh, well, yeah.
The frighteners would roll up in an ice cream truck, blaring ice cream truck music.
Good God. What the fuck is happening? Like this, wait, come on.
What?
Well, it's like imagine if every gang member had to wear like a Winnie the Pooh outfit.
I would. Now I'm imagining that, and I'm wanting that.
Of course, we all want that, but it's just like the thread is really weird.
It's not great for the,
You're right, mate. What would you like, a lolly? Step outside. Let's do this shit.
I can't believe Scorsese never did this. So they're blaring the ice cream truck music, and then they would attack. They would slash tires. There'd be drive-by shootings. They'd loot vans. They'd steal vans. They'd beat up drivers to scare them into leaving. And Tam and TC were the most violent of all these guys.
I think if there needs to be an ice cream bureau who needs to be like, no, not what we wanted.
So people living in the housing schemes began to associate the song ice cream song with impending danger.
There is a generation
Ice
of
cream
people
truck's coming,
who
hide.
can't, who hear ice cream trucks and like, all right, go inside, just to be safe, Wow.
The people became fed up, and then the serious crime squad was called in. But they're in the pocket of Tam.
Yeah. Who has an ice cream truck?
Yeah.
Right.
So if a driver files a complaint with the serious crime squad, the unit would come to their house and pretty much end their ice cream career.
Okay.
They'd be like, yeah, you're done.
Right.
Some people started calling them the Serious Chimes Squad because they didn't do anything.
Oh, okay.
One day, two of Tam's police contacts, who were known by who the locals called Laurel and Hardy because they were considered a joke.
Okay, great.
They told Tam and the Bart L team that they had to lay low for a while.
If your nickname is Laurel and Hardy as cops and it's like Scottish people, like you just, no matter how much authority you have lost the fun bet. Like they've beaten you already.
Yeah, they have it. Yeah.
Well, what'd you say, Laurel? It was a Hardy's bloody job, huh? Come on, fat boy. He's like, all right, come on, now listen. We're just asking you boys to keep it down. That's all we're asking you for. Yeah, go on a keeper.
So it turns out the loyalist movement in Northern Ireland believed the Bart L team was sending money to the IRA.
Okay.
So Tam halted Bart L jobs immediately. That's the one thing. He's like, oh, no, okay, yeah.
Right.
Don't want to get
The
involved in
IRA,
the
right.
the troubles. We're good.
All right, the parents are here. The parents are here, guys. The parents are here.
But he still needed money coming in.
Sure.
So he began rapidly expanding his ice cream operation. Tam had his eye on a Garthamlock, which was a very profitable neighborhood for ice cream vans.
Garthamlock? That sounds like
Garthamlock.
where Evil Me lives.
Yeah,
Thank you.
kind of, a little bit. But Garthamlock was controlled by TC's sister, Agnes.
Okay.
She was doing very well because her goods were affordable and never inflated for extra profit.
So this is a TC stronghold in a way, and Tam is looking to get involved
Yeah.
there. Okay.
Her big competitor in the area worked for the Marchetti firm. The Marchettis tried to scare Agnes off.
Okay.
They sent 6 vans to try to drive her out, but locals kept going to Agnes's ice cream truck.
Okay.
And then the Marchettis told cops Agnes was selling stolen goods.
Right. Classic.
And when the cops approached Agnes's ice cream van, she had the receipts for everything to prove her
ready to
goods.
go.
Yeah, she was
Okay.
ready. The Marchettis then decided to leave one van in Garthamlock just to hassle Agnes.
Okay, cool.
The driver was Andrew Doyle, who was known as Fat Boy.
Okay, sure. Hey, fat boy. Yeah, what
Now-
do you need?
Well, I'll get to it in a bit. But he was 18 years old, very large, hardworking, but exceptionally kind.
Oh,
So instead of harassing Agnes, as he was ordered to do, he would often just pull up next to her and chat with her.
well, you're all right then, Agnes. Well, you seem nice. All right, have a good day. Sorry for the bother. Oh, that went pretty well.
She's got to be scared.
Yeah.
Tam wanted control of Garthamlock for himself, so he ordered his men to move in on Fat Boy.
Wait, Fat Boy's on his team.
No, Fat Boy's not on his
Oh,
team.
Fat Boy's
the Marchettis. It was
Oh,
a
okay.
totally different
okay.
group.
All right, sorry.
So
okay.
now Tam is trying to get rid of Fat Boy.
Right, but they both okay.
Yeah.
Right.
And then I guess he'd go after Agnes after
Right,
that.
so they both have the same goal, but he's like, get rid of Fat Boy just
Yeah.
to get rid of him.
So he tried to buy him out, scare him off, but Fat Boy is young. He was very moral and fiercely loyal. He got surrounded by frighteners. He got bullied. Nothing. He's not giving in. They shot a sawed-off shotgun through his windshield. Fat Boy would not give in.
Nice try.
So Tam went for an escalation with his frighteners. On April 16th, 1984, a large fire burned the home of Fat Boy where his family lived.
Jesus.
The death count was 6.
Oh, fuck.
The dead were Fat Boy. Actually, Fat Boy, there's pictures of Fat Boy after the fire being let out and he's just walking, and then he died the next day.
Wow, from just like inhalation
Or something. Or it didn't look like he was burned, so it must have been.
Yeah, probably inhalation.
Fat Boy's brother, James Doyle,
James
father,
Boy?
Fat Boy's father, James Doyle, his brother James, his brother Tony, his sister Christina,
Wow.
her son Mark, who was 18 months
Well,
old.
that's an escalation.
Only 3 of the 9 in the family survived. It was the biggest recorded murder in Scotland at the time, and the media went wild, and people in the city were fucking livid.
Yeah.
The investigation revealed the house had been covered in petrol, gas for American
Yes.
unreds. A young girl who sold petrol to 2 men came forward. Now, I don't know what that meant. Like,
Oh, you didn't?
Well, I just read that, and I was like, okay, what, is there a girl on the street just selling petrol?
Yeah.
Like, what?
Yeah. Well, yeah, right. What do you need? Petrol.
Yeah.
I've got some.
Okay.
There you are.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You need anything else?
No, that's
I've got
it.
sandwiches and fags.
No. All good. One cop showed her a photo of
I've got a full bar.
Okay.
I've got all the. I can make a drink.
All good, thanks.
What about crocodile?
No.
Oh, okay. Want to buy a boy?
I don't want to buy a boy.
All right. How about lagoon? Do you like
Yeah.
you want a lagoon?
I would like a lagoon.
A legume.
No, I would like a lagoon.
Okay, I've got those too. How many you like?
Are you just selling one lagoon at a time?
Yes. If there's any more, I'll go to the lagoon.
Okay.
Oh,
I still want a lagoon.
okay. Well, follow me. I've got wings.
Okay.
Go right this way.
Okay,
I'm flying.
I can't fly.
I can.
Well, that was weird. That was a weird lady.
Hello, I'm up here.
So a cop showed her a photo of TC and asked if he was the guy who bought the petrol. Then the girl knew TC because her sister babysat for TC.
Okay.
It feels like Scotland's very
Small.
tight-knit.
Yeah.
And she was certain it wasn't TC because she knew him. So she said no. But every week the cops would show up and show her a photo of TC and say, is this the guy who bought the petrol? And she'd be like, no, I told you. I know that guy. Now, another Glasgow criminal, William Love, told the police he had evidence. Love was in jail for armed robbery and was offered release if he rolled on whoever did the arson.
Okay.
Love said just before the fire, he overheard TC and a guy named Joe Steele at a bar plotting to teach Fat Boy a lesson. But you hear that at a lot of bars.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of fat boys.
Yeah. Right.
TC was arrested for the Doyle family murders.
Okay.
The cops also brought in his brother-in-law, his nephew, and Agnes.
Okay.
And Joe Steele was also arrested. Cam was arrested and interrogated by the Serious Crime Squad and then just let go.
Right. Of course.
I mean, interrogated. They sat and had coffee with him.
Well, it's good to catch up.
At the trial, prosecutors focused on TC's violent history. Evidence against TC and Joe Steele seemed to just come out of thin air.
Okay.
TC's thumbprint was found in a car he had never seen before.
Okay.
The police had a map. They said they found at TC's apartment. It had a large blue X on Fat Boy's address.
Well, Dave, I mean, evidence is evidence. I gotta say, I think it's only fair. All those TC defenders best back down now. We've found the incriminating evidence.
I mean, as soon as they brought it in, I'd be like, innocent.
Yeah, right away. Oh, well, we found this thing that said murder plan. Look at that. He's got the flames on the house right there. I'll do it. Picture of him right there. That his little talk bubble saying, I'll be the one to do this. He's written his name on his shirt, on the badge, TC. Yep. I don't believe we need any more evidence, especially any of the forensic kind.
Oh, God. So,
Well, a journal entry the day before. I plan on burning Fat Boy's house. Well, TC. Case closed.
Four cops testified. They all stated that upon arresting TC, he said, quote, I only wanted the van shot up. The fire at Fat Boy's was only meant to be a frightener that went too far.
Well, again.
Each cop said the exact 24-word phrase.
Wow. So, all right. Unrehearsed. Coming out with the gate with that.
That's right.
Well, then, yeah.
TC, a man who was known as someone who would die before saying a single word to a cop, apparently confessed in front of 4 cops.
Okay.
He denied making the confession.
What? He's going back on his word?
I know.
After they found the plan?
After the map?
The map?
I mean, you're done once
Come
they've had the
on,
map.
your goose is cooked.
Love testified he heard the exact same words come out of TC at the bar. Quote, I only wanted the van shot up. The fire at Fat Bice was only meant to be a frightener that went too far.
Are they saying it
So
like zombies?
He said it. He said it not only in front of the cops, but he also said the exact same phrase at the bar.
Well, Dave, he was excited about the caper. You know how you get. It's like Christmas Eve for criminals.
Yeah. One criminal said he had never seen Love look so nervous or terrified as he testified. The police said they found a jacket in the same car where TC's thumbprint was discovered.
Ah, in the back of the jacket, murder planet. Fat boy killer.
The jacket was said to belong to TC's brother-in-law. Now, during the trial, his lawyer asked the brother-in-law to try on the jacket.
Okay.
The brother-in-law was small, and when he put the jacket on, his sleeves were about 1 foot too long, and the court erupted in laughter.
Yeah. And then Johnny Cochran. If the sleeves are too long, the verdict must be wrong.
Oh, that was good. I didn't expect that to go anywhere. The brother-in-law, TC's nephew, and Agnes were all then acquitted of murder charges.
Cool. Okay.
But TC and Joe Steele had a different
Did the
trial.
police maybe do like a follow-up where it's like, all right, guys, now let's talk about framing. Okay? We had a really good first crack at this. And again, guys, you did exactly what I said, and I can't fault you for that. Now, let's talk about what's too on the nose. When you overhear something, you guys got to invent new parts of it, new words, things like that. Don't sound verbatim, okay? Felt like you guys were reading it. Again, I'm not mad at you guys.
I thought the coat was great.
The coat was good. Again, I think what was great about the coat was the idea behind it.
I didn't know he had tiny little dinosaur arms.
He's a little guy. So that's what that would exactly be my note right there. My note right there would exactly be that. My note right there would be, next time, find the guy with frame and get a look at him. He might be a little guy.
Yeah.
Might be a bigger guy.
I didn't know he had
the
little
whole,
dinosaur
if
arms.
they ask you to try on something, you're
He reminded me of the guy who sings that song Crazy.
Who? CeeLo?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Tiny little arms.
Yeah. Again, I mean, let's...
We should have gotten his jacket.
No. Well, yes, but look, we're not looking
And
to
then
steal...
that would be the one we frame him with.
No.
So next time,
Next time...
we get a guy with dinosaur arms jacket.
Or just find it. Go buy a dog coat. Okay, go do something like that. There's other ways to do this, guys. All right. And the last thing would be the map. Very, very obvious.
Or
Very obvious.
I know a seamstress, I think they're called. They could just
You're still
cut
talking
the
about
arms
the jacket.
short.
Yeah, we moved on. Sure. Yes. But the whole thing is that
Or
it should fit.
get a jacket from a kid.
Sure. These are all
Right?
things that would have been great.
Right?
These would have been great a week ago.
Right?
Yes, this would have been great a week ago.
We really synced up our words, though, on that.
In a bad way. That's what I'm saying. In a bad way. In a way that was very obvious.
It was good.
Very obvious. Nope.
Very good.
Take the notes. These are the notes. This is a symposium.
So TC and Joe Steele had reliable alibis. TC insisted he was being framed. He said the map was planted in his apartment and claimed when he had been brought to the jail, the senior police officer said, quote, "This is where we do the fitting up. I'm going to nail you to the wall." So
Call back.
So if TC and Joe were innocent, that would mean that almost every cop on the case was corrupt.
Imagine.
So Lord Kincraid,
I'll come down for this one.
who was the trial judge, I'm wealthy,
Yeah.
could not believe the allegations of police corruption. He refused to accept it was possible that many police officers would be corrupt.
Good. Right.
The word of a criminal could not outweigh the word of a cop.
Of course not.
So TC and Joe Steele were found guilty of murder in 1984 and given life sentences.
Wow.
In the 1980s, the godfather of Glasgow, Arthur, who we remember from earlier,
Yeah, her early one.
he got into the heroin business.
Nice. You mean he saved a lot of people?
Okay, yeah, no. It's the kind you sell on ice cream trucks.
Ah.
Now, he had his son, Arthur Jr., run the operation.
Good kid.
Arthur Jr.'s nickname, I obviously I couldn't use it, Fat Boy.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. As an homage, or he was just like, well, you're all so fat.
I think it's just what they call fat guys.
Hey. Fat boy, yes? Not you, him. Me? No, the fat one. We're all fat.
He had Arthur Jr. run the operation. Arthur Sr. laundered the money and invested in legitimate businesses. At his peak, he was making 100,000 pounds a week.
Okay.
That's pretty good.
Yes, it's very good.
He operated in the shadows and was almost impossible to catch.
His son?
No, Arthur Sr.
Okay.
Now, Arthur Jr.
I'll be in the shadows too, Dad.
did not share his father's caution.
Burn him.
He was reckless.
Okay.
He was a gun-loving kid who wanted the glamour of the gangster life.
Glamour of
It's always the John
Showboaters.
Gotti Juniors. It's always the guy.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
grow up in it.
Yeah,
You
and
grow
you're
up in it.
and
You
you
get
wear
cocky.
sweatsuits and gold chains
Yeah.
and. He was known to shoot at everything: street signs, trees, even random cars that passed him by on the motorway.
Well, that sounds like useless criminal behavior for a criminal, right?
It's very the opposite of the caution his father.
Yeah, his dad's like, we will never get caught. He's like, Dad, I got caught again. Good news, they caught me again.
So heroin is the biggest problem in Glasgow. So Laurel and Hardy asked for Tam's help to catch some big dealers.
Okay.
In exchange for keeping tabs on Arthur Jr., they offered to give Tam the confiscated heroin so he could resell it.
What was that? What did Lord Featherbottom think of this, whatever that dude's name is?
We've got the worst deal.
Yeah. I mean,
What? This is the worst.
yeah.
What about get out of jail free card?
Yeah.
You're offering him the heroin?
Yeah.
What about negotiating in the fucking middle?
Yeah.
So Tam's like, that's a great deal. I will totally take the heroin.
In.
So Tam sets up a meeting with Arthur Jr. at a pub, and he proposes they start a partnership. Mm-hmm. He would give Arthur Jr. heroin for free. Now, Arthur Jr. didn't know where the heroin came from, but it was free, and this is a well-known criminal giving it to him, so he takes the deal.
Great. Yep. All right.
I mean, it doesn't seem like there's any strings attached.
Hey, bear one, honey?
It's just a guy giving you free heroin.
What-
What could be wrong?
Well, what's the pitch? Well, I'll give you a lot of heroin. Well, yeah, like, yeah, all right, yeah.
So the heroin turned out to be pure, which was rare in Scotland, and it killed a lot of users throughout the city.
Because they were used to bad junk.
That's right.
You got to use a lot.
Well, Arthur Jr. was arrested.
Okay,
Arthur Sr. suspected Tam had something to do with the arrest.
sure.
But he went to Tam and he offered him £20,000 to get his son out of prison.
It's probably the smarter move.
And Tam passed on the deal.
Interesting.
Arthur Jr. got a 10-year sentence.
So Arthur Sr. is like,
But at the same time, Tam convinced the Arthurs, Jr. and Sr., that Paul Ferris, who was their enforcer, had ratted out Arthur Jr.
Tam's pretty.
He's pretty good. He's pretty good. The Godfather at this point is weakened, and now a big part of the heroin market's up for grabs with Arthur Jr. out of the picture. In 1988, Arthur Sr. was shot in the groin outside.
Oh, my goalies! Oh, my boys!
Outside the family home, which was an estate called the Ponderosa.
Ah, right.
Jesus Christ.
It's probably around the time the steakhouse was around. So he's like, it's an homage. One time we were in the Las Vegas airport and we stopped by a Ponderosa. Unbelievable cuts.
So after he got shot, he went to a private clinic
A private's clinic.
and told the police it had been caused by a drill bit that broke off.
Yeah, you've heard it 1,000 times. I was drilling in the wall and then it shot through my cock.
So, a couple years later, a car ran over Arthur Sr. on the curb outside the Ponderosa. Again, Arthur Sr. survived and will not give a statement to police.
It was from a drill.
So, on August 8, 1991, Arthur Jr. was on a weekend leave from prison when he was shot to death outside the Ponderosa.
Jesus Christ.
Get the fuck away from the
Yeah,
Ponderosa.
leave the Ponderosa's bad. Bad juju.
Arthur Sr. was devastated. Evidence pointed to Paul Ferris. A rift had developed since Tam had convinced them that he had ratted them out.
Right.
Arthur Jr. tried to kill him at one point. Now, so the police.
Thanks again, Tam.
The police arrested Ferris for Arthur Jr.'s murder. And the Godfather poured, I don't know what he was doing, but he poured 4.1 million pounds into the trial. So to get him convicted, he's, I don't know what, finding evidence or whatever, hiring investigators, whatever. So it lasts 54 days and there's 300 witnesses. It, at the time, is the most expensive trial in Scotland history. And the Godfather broke the ultimate unspoken rule amongst gangsters. He testified against another criminal in court. Mm-hmm. Despite all that, Ferris is acquitted.
Wow.
Arthur Sr.'s criminal career is over.
Yeah.
So, just days before Arthur Jr.'s funeral, Tam killed 2 of Ferris's partners by shooting them in the head and with an extra bullet shooting them in their anuses.
Oh, come on. What are we, 6? Come on, guys. Let's clean it up, everybody. Because this is why it's juvenile. You know he killed him first. He didn't shoot him in the ass and then the head.
No, he shot him in the head.
He goes, head, dad. Hey, fancy a bit of a laugh? Bing. To be fair, there were already bullet wounds in that idiot, officer. Wow.
To intimidate Arthur Sr., he dumped the bodies along the route of the funeral procession.
Wait, who did? Tam did?
Yeah, but he I think he was making it seem like Ferris had done it
and
was like,
geez,
I'll kill fucking anybody. So the hearse passed the bodies. The Godfather was freaked out. He spent the rest of his life in hiding. His son was dead. His daughter Margaret had died of a drug overdose 3 years before. He lived secluded in fear and died a year later on March 13th, 1993. Now Tam was the new king.
Okay.
Throughout the 80s and 90s, TC put all his energy into filing an appeal.
Okay.
He protested his innocence by refusing to have his hair cut.
As we all do. That's the way you know someone hasn't done something.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The hairiest did the least.
He really showed them.
Yeah.
He lost his first appeal in 1989, but he organized the inmates and they took over the jail.
Well, that's how we do it, okay? Self-start.
They could have left the prison, but TC stayed and demanded justice.
Interesting move.
The prison guards didn't respond well. He was beaten so badly by the guards that he was briefly pronounced dead.
Probably should have left.
That's that's a legit beating. Like
yes.
It's a quality
He's
beating.
dead. Oh, sorry.
Oh, fuck.
A little bit in him.
There he is. This got the attention of inmates all over Scotland. Many believed TC was innocent. According to journalist Reg McKay, quote, jails were wrecked, men sat on rooftops for days, buildings torched, screws were taken hostage.
Hey, nobody move! We've got the screws. Is that what you said?
Yeah, the screws.
The screws.
Do you know what screws are?
No.
Oh, that's what they call guards in prison.
Oh, no.
Yeah, they screw.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. You're so innocent.
I'm not from here.
Even down in the dark dungeons of the Digger, I don't know what the Digger is.
Oh, not so smart now, are you, asshole?
Weak, half-blind men created hell. Banners were strung from the jail walls, free the Glasgow 2. The riots were for the innocent. The unjust were fighting for justice.
Nice.
So all the prison system went.
Pretty cool.
Yeah. I like solidarity. It's a union.
Well, and good Lord, we could use that. Anyway.
In 1992, 2 journalists researching a book about the Ice Cream Wars found that William Love had admitted he lied in court. After that, Joe Steele escaped several times and staged large demonstrations. He once superglued and chained himself to the gates of Buckingham Palace.
What? How much time do you need to superglue yours? There's guards everywhere.
That's not it. Okay, I can't find it.
Oh, there he is. What the fuck?
Where'd it go?
I don't know. It was there. It's fleeting. Yeah, right there. Wow.
Restore. So he literally literally glued it. So he's handcuffed and he glued himself. His hands are glued. I think he's escaping and doing this, or he's getting out.
That's TC who did that?
No, this is the other guy, Joe Steele,
Okay,
who was
right,
convicted
right,
with him.
Right. Okay, that's what I thought.
Who hates TC.
Right.
Like, so they're connected because of this thing,
Right.
but he like never had anything to do with it. But he's like, TC was all involved in the fucking ice cream war shit. I never was. I just got sucked up in it.
Right.
So
He's also wearing a shirt of Jesus on the cross.
it's the fucking best. He's
It's a painting within a painting.
TC was sent to solitary confinement and started waging hunger strikes. He neared death several times. When he was asked who killed the Doyles, TC would reply, quote, "How the fuck should I know? I wasn't there."
Fair.
One ex-criminal began to organize campaigns for the Glasgow II and openly blamed Tam for the Doyle murders. He opened an office in an ex-factory to run the campaign, but Tam bought the building and evicted him.
Okay. All right, Tam. Keep trying.
So the guy went and confronted Tam at a bar and shouted at him and berated Tam in front of all of his associates.
Jesus, dude.
In Glasgow, publicly embarrassing someone like this was called a shirking.
Sure.
A week later, he was lured to a pub surrounded by armed men and shot dead.
Yeah, I mean, I appreciate the passion,
Yeah.
but
It's not.
come on, if you want to like, I mean,
Yeah. So the guy who got away with burning a house down,
yes,
that's not the guy you want to confront in a bar.
yeah, right, yeah, exactly. I mean, yeah, fight him, but hide.
So police did not investigate the murder.
Wow, fuck.
It's just a guy
He's
getting shot in a bar.
Yeah, I mean, a guy getting a shot in well, looks pretty open and shit to me. Suicide.
But pressure led TC and Steele. So now there's a lot of people now who are like, these guys didn't do it.
Right.
There's politicians getting involved. Everyone's
Okay.
like, this is not. So pressure leads to TC and Steele being released on bail in late 1996, pending a second appeal.
Okay.
One day after being let out, TC was getting a prescription for his daughter at a pharmacy when one of Tam's henchmen stabbed him multiple times.
Jesus Christ.
But TC overpowered the henchman. Then another man jumped out of a car and attacked TC with a 7-iron, which he went and got out of the trunk. He wasn't just holding it. He had golf clubs in the trunk and he grabbed one. Witnesses said the guy with the golf club was Tam.
Okay.
Cops did nothing.
Wow.
TC survived.
Fucking A.
Then the appeal was...
This is so out in the open.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy.
This is like, yeah.
Yeah, it turns out when there's corruption, just anything goes.
Yeah, but even then, I mean, the
I know, it's pretty
ability
bad.
to be able to go out with a 7. I mean, a Jack Nicholas, some guy, or Jack Nicholas,
Either one.
Jack Nicholson,
Yeah, that one.
all of them.
The appeal was rejected. Love's lies were deemed not to have an effect on the outcome of the original trial. So they were like, there was so much evidence that Love's snitching didn't matter.
Right.
TC and Steele were returned to prison in 1998. That year, Tam was arrested for drug smuggling,
Interesting.
which I think is outside the local. Okay, here's why.
sure.
So he was taking underprivileged kids from housing schemes on minibus holidays to Morocco or Spain.
Oh, I'm sure out of the
Out
kindness
of the
of his
goodness,
heart.
yeah, out of the goodness of his heart. The buses had drugs stored directly below the kids' seats. Police found out, and they confiscated 220 pounds of weed.
And 12 kids.
And 12 kids. Tam was charged,
Okay.
but walked away with no explanation.
Interesting.
And his brother-in-law got 10 years.
Jesus Christ. So it is just him.
I mean...
He's just still. After all these years.
TC and Steele were released again on appeal after a new commission was formed to deal with all the bullshit convictions in Scotland. So they literally form a commission
To undo the TAM.
to not just to how many people have been convicted by bullshit crimes.
Wow.
So those guys, the commission.
Good for them, though.
Yeah, the commission gets them out. So they have a new trial. An expert testifies that the 4 police officers could not possibly make 4 identical statements. It was nearly impossible. He did a study, and he went and he had all these people. He would tell the people the sentence, and then he had all these people try to repeat the confession, but a vast majority could not.
Mm-hmm.
It was clear the cops had memorized the statement prior to the trial. So TC and Steele were freed permanently in 2004. Wow. They had spent 18 years in jail. The original trial judge, Lord Kincraig, said he still, quote, could not accept there was a conspiracy among the police.
Hey, King Craig, go away.
How could the police?
They were.
They're police.
No.
All they do is good.
No.
They are the police.
Yes.
All police do is good.
Right.
There's no way more than one police could get together and be bad.
Oh, boy.
Ever.
Lord.
It's never happened in the history of polices.
Lord.
Of all the polices in all the police towns, there's never been a bunch of polices that are bad.
What are you saying police is like that for? In his little wig. No. Police can't be bad. They're all good.
The original trial judge. Oh, I already said that. In the original trial's transcript, Lord Kincraig had told the jury that, quote, to believe Campbell and Steele's assertions was to accept that not one or two or four, but a large number of detectives have deliberately come here to perjure themselves.
Yes.
To build up a false case against an accused person.
Yes.
It was to saddle the accused wrongly with the crimes of murder and attempted murder and a murder of a horrendous nature. That could not be. There's no way.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Have you ever heard of the FBI? So he had apparently never listened to police in a courtroom before. TC openly said Tam was the real Doyle family murderer, but Tam would never be suspected if TC and Steele were in jail. So Tam was obviously doing everything he could to keep them in jail the whole time. TC tried to have the Doyle family murders investigation reopened, but it was seen as a personal vendetta against Tam, and so they wouldn't.
Yeah, because he, of course, yeah, well,
Of course, it's a personal vendetta. He put him in jail for 18 years.
But it's also not a personal vendetta. Like, it's both.
It's both.
Yeah.
He had also, over this time, he kept trying to get TC killed. Like, he was trying to...
Yes, clearly.
Yeah.
Clearly.
I mean, it gets very personal.
Yeah.
Several politicians have backed an inquiry into the investigation. The Ice Cream Wars was one of the most high-profile cases in Scottish legal history. It shook the public and damaged its faith in local police. It is believed by some many are in jail in Scotland because of police lies. After TC and Steele were released, Tam's loyal henchmen were picked off one by one. 2 close associates were murdered. The death of Billy McPhee scared Tam the most. Billy was at a bar in Ballyston watching a game when an unidentified man in a gray hoodie and jeans walked in and repeatedly stabbed him. But that just sounds like being in a pub in Scotland.
Well, potentially, but I mean, like...
He died in 9 minutes.
He died in... Okay.
Okay, so Tam had just survived an assassination attempt that month, and he'd also been shot in the head recently. So Tam went into hiding in 2003, splitting his time between safe houses all over Ireland, Scotland, and Spain. Arthur Sr.'s other son, Billy, was in and out of prison. He got 18 months in the late 90s for possessing a harpoon gun.
Well, if you're going to go, go big. Go big.
It just has nothing to do with the story.
Well, I mean, no, it does. It has everything to do with the story because it's about growing up in it and trying to be bigger than your father. And trying to show people that you are your own thing. You know what I mean? Like if someone started carrying like a katana sword, it'd be like, all right, well, this he's a sword guy. But, you know, you want to be the guy who's like, what is that, a rocket launcher? No, that's a land harpoon he's carrying. That man is straight up carrying whale-killing equipment on his shoulder right now.
Where's Fat Boy? Billy also died in 2017 due to drugs. So out of all of Arthur's kids, only one's still alive.
Okay.
Tam spent his final years in a heavily fortified home in Glasgow. He watched reruns of Star Trek all day. Now I like him. And passed away after a heart attack on July 30th, 2007.
Wow.
On June 26, 2019, TC died at the age of 66. Joe Steele, who's now 57, has turned his back on crime and has been sober for 6 years. To this day, there still has not been an inquiry into the Glasgow police corruption. Not a single officer has been investigated, disciplined, or jailed, and the Doyle family murders remain unsolved.
Wow.
Even though we all know who did it.
Yeah. Fat Boy.
That's right.
Yeah.
He killed his own.
Yeah. Yeah. Boy, that's crazy.
Isn't it?
That is crazy.
How has that not been
Oh my God.
It's one of the best movies of all time.
It's Gangs of New York in Scotland with ice cream trucks. But better.
It's really fucking bananas.
Wow. That's crazy, man. That's crazy. I mean, it's crazy because it's so. I always look at Scotland as a place that really has its shit together, and for the most part, it does.
I remember. So I used to watch a lot of God, what's the prison show on MSNBC that was on Lockup.
Locked Up. Yeah.
I used to watch a lot of Lockup, and then they started international Lockup, and they started going to Scotland, and it was like it's the number one per capita for stabbings. Like it was just like I think it's a lot better now, but I think for a while Scotland just had a fucking because remember Margaret Thatcher went through and fucking destroyed the country, and then drugs go up and crime goes up. So
that's the. I mean, and every time it's just like. You can paint by numbers how you get drug infestation into cities, and it's pretty simple.
Yeah,
you know,
pull out the safety net, take away the jobs.
Yeah, and right away, I mean, what's going to go? You know, and then make drugs available.
Yeah,
I mean, boy, that's wild though.
Mm-hmm.
Good God.
We should get an ice cream ban. You and me.
I mean, it's just so weird because now, like the food, like I'm just picturing food, like if food trucks were just like, like some of these food trucks kill each other. Yeah. You know what I mean? You just be like, wait, what? Be like, yeah, the grilled cheese van and that lobster tacos, they killed each other's families. Just be like, what?
Yeah, it'd be great.
Yeah, it'd be great. That's what I'm after.
I'm all for it.
That's great. All right.
All right. Well,
gobble gobble, everybody.
We signed Trolls.
That's it.
What we said?
That's what I would.